Actually, I have spent one full day on understanding that law of increase of entropy, but I couldn't get satisfactory explanation because the explanation started with thermodynamical reason. I was looking for statistical explanation actually, so that's what Boltzmann argued again. So now let me start with this one. Okay, this is the definition of entropy in statistical physics. Okay, we call it as Boltzmann definition actually. So Kb into log of number of microstate. I hope I have talked about number of microstate in so enoughly, isn't it? I think in the last class also. I think what we have done in the last class is again we try to maximize this one. Am I right? In an approach to thermal equilibrium, we try to maximize this one, and so that gave the condition for equilibrium, whether it is thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, or something, isn't it? So now we call this one as Boltzmann definition of entropy. Again, other definitions are like this, isn't it? ds is equal to again d bar q divided by t, like that. Is that okay? So that is your pure thermodynamic what you call definition of entropy actually. I think the first reason started with thermodynamics again. So law of increase of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics, we call it as second law of thermodynamics, that is first introduced by I think Clausius. Okay, yeah, that is discovered by Clausius in 1865. So then it is explained again statistically by Boltzmann. So that's why uh, when I see many books, what they have quoted is, again I was trying to conclude logically, but they have quoted it like a postulate. Closed isolated system, if it is in not thermal, if it is in not in equilibrium state. Okay, not only for thermal equilibrium. Okay, a closed isolated system which is not in thermal equilibrium, sorry, not in equilibrium. Okay, so then in an approach to equilibrium, it will always tend to increase the entropy. So entropy will never decrease. Is that okay? Again, if you leave the system so as it is, again it will approach towards thermal, so towards equilibrium, isn't it? Any system which is initially in non-equilibrium situation. So definitely, if you leave the system, it will approach equilibrium situation. Is that okay? And again, in an equilibrium situation, one thing that I have argued in the last session was again. When you have so when you take a system which is already what you call so when you take some system, if you remove some constraint, then it will start so then the non-equilibrium part will start, and it will start moving towards equilibrium. I think I have argued that one. Am I right? If you have any system, suppose I have taken two container where I place gas only one part of the container, or I place the gas with a two different concentration at two compartment. Okay, so then what happened was what we found was again your number of microstate of final state after it approached equilibrium, that was always greater or equal to number of what you call microstate of initial one, isn't it? So this is what we found actually. Yeah. Now this can be argued. Okay, this can be argued again. So let me put my question here. Again, because we can see that one, we can argue in a phase space, isn't it? Suppose if you have a two compartment, isn't it? I have argued this one, I think. Suppose initially you have gas molecules only in this part of the compartment. Okay, then if you remove the partition, now gas molecules can access whole volume, isn't it? If gas molecules can access whole volume, that means it can access more region of the phase space. So initially gas molecules are restricted to one part here. Okay, let me call this one as V1, this one as V2. Okay, now position again that is attained by each molecule, that is restricted here to V1. That's why some phase space regions are restricted. Once you remove that one, so again each and every molecule can access any part of this whole region, isn't it? When you remove the constraint. So that's why again in case of phase space, number of phase cells will increase actually. I think I talked about dividing phase space also, isn't it? I don't have to talk about that one again. So quickly raise the question if you have any, okay? So that's why whenever you remove any constraint, again usually soon after the removal of that one, we can call it as a non-equilibrium situation, am I right? If I just took so taken this off, so what will happen is your all molecules are at one side, so nothing here. That's a non-equilibrium situation, and our system will always try to move towards equilibrium situation by, again, what is the equilibrium situation here? Uniform distribution of particles, uniform pressure, okay, like that, uniform temperature. So that's the equilibrium situation actually. So this is the one of the best way to think of phase space. Okay, here because positions accessible to each particle comes into play here in this situation. So actually we call it when you remove the partition, if it approaches equilibrium, if it is isolated system, if total system is isolated, okay, then we call it as actually chemical equilibrium actually. So chemical equilibrium. This is an approach to chemical equilibrium, not thermal actually. Again, we can extend the same idea. Suppose if I have a what you call metal slab. Again, so two metal slabs which are what you call separated by a thermal isolation. Is that okay? So both are thermally isolated, A and A dash, isn't it? So total system is isolated again. Is that okay? Total system is isolated. Here also the total system is isolated. Only interacting part is this system and this system actually. Okay. So now suppose if both of them are of different temperature, let me say like that, but temperature should be defined later. Okay. Then again, if I remove this thermal isolation, what will happen? They will share what you call energy. Again, since they are metal slab, I have taken two metal slab, they will not share particle. Here these two systems, these two volumes, they share particles, isn't it? But here they will not share particle, they will share energy. Whatever, again this thermal isolation was a kind of constraint. When you remove that constraint, again your number of microstate tend to increase actually. Is that okay? Again, how long it will increase? Until our number of microstate approaches one what you call maximum constant value. Is that okay? Maximum constant value. Yeah. Yeah, again look at here, this kind of system and then this kind of system, these are irreversible. Okay, once you remove the constraint, if you again what you call reinsert, again number of microstate, again once you remove the constraint, if you wait for a long time, again it will approach some final number of microstate. I mean it will increase and it will approach something, isn't it? Number of microstate approach some value, omega f. So after if you insert that one, then this omega f will not change. Okay, you can't regain it back. Irreversible process. Is that okay? So here also the same thing. Okay, suppose both of them are at different temperature, and you remove the thermal isolation, they start sharing the energy. We call it as heat energy. They share heat energy, isn't it? Heat transferred. That's how we say. Okay, so then what would happen? Again, if you reinsert this again, how long they will share energy, how long they will share heat, until the temperature becomes equal. We shall prove that one. Okay, so then again if you reinsert this constraint, then again it will not regain original situation. Yeah. Quickly, any question here in this part? I hope there is no question in this statement. I think I have given that statement from Reeve. If some constraint of an isolated system are removed, then parameters of the system tend to readjust themselves in such a way that omega, that means number of microstate, tend to approaches a maximum value. Is that okay? So that's what we say. The value will increase very rapidly. Is that okay? How much the value increase means we haven't taken any particular example, here itself, look at here, if you take so volume, suppose 1 cubic feet, so volume of 1 cubic feet, the corresponding phase space, you know that one again, how continuous our phase space trajectory are, isn't it? Once you divide your phase space into phase cell of the volume, I think h naught raised to f, am I right? F is the degree of freedom. We divide phase space into phase cells of the volume h naught raised to f. Once we divide that one, so lot of microstate exist for a given macro state. So for a given total volume, for a given pressure, for a given energy, lot of uncountable number of microstate exist actually. So to make it countable, we divided phase space into phase cell, am I right? And lot again, since h naught is arbitrarily small, lot of phase cell exist for a given macro state. That's why, so this is too high, okay? Again, this is already too high. Again, whatever initial or final, it is already too high for this kind of because again, each and every particle can access a whole region of the volume, am I right? And it can have all possible momentum also. So then when you take about so when you think of all permutation and all, again that leads to some volume of the phase space or some phase cell, collection of some phase cell. So that leads to the large value of this one, and that value again, if you remove any constraint, that will increase very drastically. So that will increase very drastically. We can't quantify that one actually. So now again, about entropy, let me come to entropy. Yeah, look at here. So what I am saying is, so it is just a kind of rough idea, okay? We can't actually imagine this one, okay? Suppose, let me say, some region of phase space is occupied. In that case, suppose in this again before removal of constraint, okay? So this is before removal of this partition. So let me take this situation, okay? So in this one, before removal of partition, so some region of phase space is accessible. Let me take that idea, okay? Because I can't think of that one, because suppose if you have n number of particles, degree of freedom is 3 and phase space dimension is 6n, am I right? Now what I am going to say here is some region of phase space is accessible before removal of the constraint. Is that okay? Now once you remove the partition, the spatial point that is accessible to each molecule or each particle, that is increased. Now each molecule can be anywhere in this big volume now. Earlier it was restricted. So that's why some region of the accessible state, okay, some region of the phase space will be increased actually. Is that okay? So then again divide phase space into phase cells and try to count the number of possible state. That will increase obviously. Okay, because so not only momentum will quantify its state, isn't it? Position also quantifies states. Now it can have more and more possible position. Even though you are not giving any heat or something to increase the momentum or kinetic energy, but you are removing a constraint and you are allowing the particle to move in the bigger region, so that position, accessible position become more and more. So then what will happen? Again, it's so position is also one of the part here, isn't it? So then more and more region of the phase space is accessible. So that's how you can argue. You can divide the phase space and you can count the number of states actually. Is that okay? So now that is the main thing here. Remember, again we are not talking about one point in phase space, okay? Again, before removal of constraint, you should wait for a long time to check out how much region it attained in the phase space. After removal of constraint, after it attains equilibrium, okay, then again you have to wait. So that again you have to check out how our phase point moves and what are the region that it is going to touch. Is that okay? So that's how we do. Before removal of constraint, wait for a while so that again all particle will move in a very zigzag motion, or phase point will move and phase point will what you call so touch many region of the phase space. Am I right? Now we are going to divide that region into phase cell and we are going to say each phase cell corresponds to each possible microstate. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. In case of ideal gas, actually, this number of microstate proportional to volume power n. Okay. So we have seen that the number of microstate that is defined as 1 by h naught power f. Am I right? Volume of the one phase cell into dq1, dq2, and so on to dqf, dp1, dp2, and so on to dpf. Am I right? So you should integrate this one, we call that as volume of the phase space. Again, not phase cell volume. Okay, this is the volume of the phase space, and we have to integrate that one. So throughout the region, accessible region of the phase space, and you have to divide by volume of one phase cell. That's a count actually. Is that okay? And we have seen. So since it is again this part, we can write it like this actually. 1 by h naught raised to f. Usually again. So this whole part you can write it as d cube of r1, d cube of r2, and so on to d cube of rn actually. And again other part is integration with respect to momentum. Is that okay? What is d cube of r1? That is volume integral of a position of first particle, isn't it? Volume integral of position of first particle. So throughout the region of interest, throughout the possibility, isn't it? So then what is the possibility? That possibility is throughout the container. That particle can access any region of the container. That's why each of this integral happen to be volume of the container. That's why we multiplied and so on of to n so that it will become volume power n actually. Is that okay? So v into and so on of to n, so n times. Again other part also appears, integral of momentum part, but this part will give volume power n actually. So that's how I can say that. You better remember. So number of microstate that is proportional to volume power n actually. It again depends on energy also. Remember. So I better write volume power n into some function of energy. You better remember this formula because there are many questions where our entropy, again they may ask change in entropy by changing only volume without changing energy actually. Okay, then you can make use of that formula directly. Okay. Yeah, that is again, that's a good question. While calculating number of microstate, why we take limit e to e plus delta e? Okay, again in this one we take e to e, it's not e plus de. Okay, it is e plus delta e. It is e plus delta e. Am I right? I have written like this: dq1, dq2, and so on to dqf, dp1, dp2, and so on to dpf. Isn't it? 1 by h naught raised to f. Am I right? So now again, even though we take closed isolated system, we allow some range of energy. Okay. Suppose this is average energy. So we say that our actual energy that varies about that one by what you call value delta I. That's why we need to integrate. That's actually how to say, we can't have any system which vary again with no fluctuation in energy, isn't it? That's why we allow small range of energy. But you can think of phase space. You don't have to think of energy here, but you can think of phase space. But remember this energy. So this energy decided the what you call phase space region. If you increase the energy, number of again so without increasing volume of the container, if you increase the energy or if you give the heat for the system, then what will happen? Accessible momentum will increase. So that again phase space region will increase. So that's why we say it is a rapid function of energy also. Okay, it's a rapid function of energy. So not only volume, remember. So that is E plus delta E, okay, that's not E plus dE, this is a very small range, okay, you can make it arbitrarily small actually. Maybe again for calculus point of view we have taken that small range because since it is a continuous function. Since whatever we are doing that is continuous function, am I right? Sigma as a function of E, continuous function of E. So that's why we have taken one small region again in the point of view of calculus, okay? Yeah. That's a good question. In case of two solid in contact with each other after removal of thermal isolation, okay, they start sharing the what you call energy, isn't it? Suppose it was at 100 degrees Celsius, it was at 60 degrees Celsius, is that okay? Earlier, before removal of the what you call your thermal isolation, after removal again they start sharing the heat, okay? We call that one sharing of heat actually. The question that he is asking is when two solid in contact after when thermal isolation is removed, which quantity is changing so that it increases microstate? That's quite difficult to say. How to define the microstate here actually? It's a solid, am I right? Each of the solid particle you should take it as a, again that's why again to talk about that law of increase of number of microstate in an approach to thermal equilibrium, I have taken that volume to volume with gas actually. That was quite easy because I can so I can think of phase space. But here what would happen is while finding number of microstate you should go for individual atom, its vibration. You should model it with your harmonic oscillator, isn't it? Each and every atom of the solid, it will behave like a harmonic oscillator, three-dimensional harmonic oscillator. Then correspondingly, you should define phase space. So thinking of phase space is quite lengthy here. So that's why again, I caught this one as a constraint, and a removal of any constraint will increase the number of microstate. That is the statement I have done by looking into this one actually, because I can't go for phase space that easily for this situation and argue the same thing. That's why whenever I try to talk about this one, I start with that two different partition. One partition contains what you call gas with one concentration, other contains gas with other concentration. You are removing the partition, they share that one, because you can think of phase space actually. But here that's quite difficult. Okay, suppose if you model the whole system quantum mechanically, again phase space picture will never come, isn't it? You should go for quantum numbers. You should go for quantum number. Again, each and every particle in a solid, it will do three-dimensional oscillation, am I right? Each and every particle will have what you call three quantum number, because three dimension means three quantum number. So total, so how many? So total 3n quantum number actually. You should specify all of them to find the number of microstate. That's quite lengthy. Yeah, so this is quite difficult to argue it here. In this situation, how exactly number of microstate increases, but we can do it very easily. Suppose if we have any constant volume, if we increase the heat, okay, or if you supply the heat, then you can say that accessible momentum part increases, okay. Suppose if you have two compartment and if you remove the partition, you can say accessible positions are increasing. So thereby removal of any constraint, again that will increase the number of accessible state actually. That you can argue, but here it's quite difficult. That's a good question. Here also it is difficult, and in case of that mechanical equilibrium, that's also quite difficult. Okay, mechanical equilibrium means suppose you have a cylinder, okay. Again, this is again isolated, okay. The whole system is isolated. So now you have a piston here. Is that okay? Now you have a piston here. You have one type of gas again. So gas with one concentration, gas with other concentration here. Okay. Now suppose piston is immovable. It is not movable, suppose. Then it acts like a constraint. Okay. Now if you make that piston movable, freely movable, that's a kind of removal of constraint. Okay. Earlier it was immovable. Now I'll make that piston as movable. Then what will happen? Piston will move until the pressures are equal. Isn't it? So now it's also removal of constraint. Again, quite difficult to say that in an approach to that equilibrium, what is that equilibrium? In the equilibrium state, pressure will become equal. Here temperature will become equal. Earlier case, concentration will become equal. Am I right? Once you remove the partition, if you allow the particle to diffuse. So in this case, so in that approach, number of microstate increases again. Quite difficult to argue, but I can argue in case of that so chemical equilibrium or diffusion case, because I can think of phase space. Here it is quite difficult. So for other two, I am just generalizing the same thing. Let me argue for one of them, and for other two the same will be followed. Yeah, applying heat externally is not any constraint removal, okay? Applying heat externally is not any constraint removal, that's a different story. Yeah.
Because here we increasing the heat temperature.
No, again, so what I am saying is, so this is a function of energy, am I right? Once you increase the heat of the system, energy of the system increases, so that number of microstate increases very rapidly. Okay, that's how you can think. But here we are not supplying any heat or something. We are again, even if you place any object, so again inside a water bath. Now let me take water bath as one system. Your metal block or whatever as other system. Again, I can think of the whole system is isolated. I can model in the same way. Okay, later. So that heat bath, whatever you are talking about, you are going to take one as heat bath, one as your system of interest. So the total system is isolated. That's how you are going to study that one, how they exchange heat and all. Okay, yeah. Microstate need not be doubled. Okay, again it all depends on the situation. You can't say that number of microstate is exactly doubled when you remove the partition. Okay. No, again partition, again we better not to think of partition, we better think of constraint. Immovable piston was constrained here in case of mechanical equilibrium, okay. So thermal isolation was constrained here, okay. Partition was a constraint here in case of that chemical equilibrium. I call it as chemical equilibrium, diffusion of the particle, that situation, okay. So now we can't say that it is exactly doubled. Okay, again don't think of partition always, think of constraint. Some constraints are there. When you remove that one, it will always tend to increase. Okay, yeah. So now look at here, one more thing that you have to observe. I told these processes are irreversible, am I right? These processes are irreversible. I think you can reverse this one. You can reverse this process. Anyway, we shall talk about that one in thermodynamics. Now look at here. Suppose both of them are at same temperature, 60 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now removal of that thermal isolation and insertion of again thermal isolation again, that will not change anything. Isn't it? There is no exchange of heat. There is no change in number of microstate at all if you remove the thermal isolation. Again, if you reinsert that thermal isolation, again final number of microstate is same as initial number of microstate. So that's why it's a kind of reversible process in this situation. Is that okay? The process is reversible. So I can say one thing here: if sigma f is greater than sigma I, the process is irreversible. Okay. If sigma f is same as sigma I, sorry, not sigma, omega, am I right? So process is reversible. You can roughly take that idea. So I am trying to give pure statistical idea. Whatever you have done in thermodynamics, we can explain most part from statistical physics. That's what I am saying. Counting number of microstate and all. So remember here, yeah, the last question. Can you have a constraint in open system and closed system? Look at here. What do you mean by open system? Open system means suppose I have a metal block and I have a room, isn't it? Room will act like a kind of reservoir, isn't it? Now what I do is I take metal block and room as a whole system. Are you getting my point? Now whatever we are drawing, look at here, whenever I draw this one, have you seen that I have drawn this A like this, I have drawn A prime with a large size. So in case of thermal equilibrium, so again I have drawn it like this. Am I right? Now look at here, you can call this is our system of interest. Suppose I have one metal block here, so in my room, and it was at very low temperature. I kept that one at room temperature. Again it is so it has started taking heat from the surrounding because its temperature was lower than the room temperature. Okay. So then again, what do you mean by that? You haven't put any what you call thermal insulation. You have removed that one. It started interacting, isn't it? Now my surrounding, my room, entire room, I call it as a dash. So my metal block, whatever I have placed, I call it as A. So now again, whenever we discuss this interaction, even interaction with the surrounding, we take a system and surrounding together as a total system, and we have to formulate. Okay, and which again, anyway, you should discuss system of interest, its interaction with the surrounding, isn't it? You think that it's an open system, but system plus surrounding, that is a closed system. We can assume like that, isn't it? So that again, you can talk about interaction. The total system is isolated. You can think like that, okay, and you can start formulating. So again, that the last question is, can we have a constraint in open system? Definitely. Okay. Suppose I have a metal block which is covered with thermocol. So which is covered with thermocol, so pure thermocol. So then what will happen? It will not take heat from this surrounding. Okay. Suppose I kept it room. So if I remove all of those thermocols, isn't it? What will happen? It will start interacting with the surrounding. Okay. Now don't think of that one as open system. So think of that with system and surrounding. Okay, system in contact with surrounding. That's why. So whenever I draw, usually I used to draw this one big, this one small actually, because system of interest is quite small when it interacts with the surrounding. Surroundings is very big actually. Okay, that is the idea. So quickly, any further questions? After taking this idea, next one is a kind of postulate actually. Yeah, that's correct. Entropy of the universe is greater than 0 and all. But quite philosophical actually. Yeah, wait a second. Now, what I am trying to say here is, yeah, our number of microstate tend to increase in an approach to thermal equilibrium. You take any non-equilibrium situation, again, so in an approach, again, a number of microstate will increase. Again, that was quite easy to argue, because we had some physical situation. We can think of phase space and we can think of increase of number of accessible region of the phase space. But the postulate is actually, so not only this one, you should, again, this is a quantity, this is a pure mathematical quantity. Somebody asks what is the physical significance of entropy. That is the mistake we do. Entropy is pure mathematical quantity. Do you measure entropy in lab? What is the unit for entropy? If you measure, you should have some unit, isn't it? What is the unit for entropy? It has a dimension of kb, isn't it? Kb has some dimension, isn't it? I think joule per Kelvin, joule per Kelvin, isn't it? Like that, or electron volt per Kelvin, like that. Okay. So, but entropy is not any measurable quantity, remember. It's not any measurable quantity in lab. So, again it is a bookkeeping term, it is pure mathematical quantity. So, do not look for what you call physical significance for entropy, because that is again waste of time. So, that is why again I have wasted one more day to what you call interpret that one only. Okay. So, to interpret law of increase of entropy, but law of increase of entropy, so that has some other reasoning in thermodynamics actually, but not in statistical physics, I think. Okay, because the law has started from thermodynamical argument. Okay, so maybe because of that one, but so there are some arguments, but again quite difficult right now, because we need some theory from classical mechanics also. So now again, in an approach to thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium or chemical equilibrium, this entropy will always increasing function and it will attain one maximum possible value. Okay, entropy. So again, for a closed isolated system, okay, suppose it is not in equilibrium. Okay, so and you start your clock and you observe your entropy as a function of time, it will always tend to increase actually. Is that okay? So now when it approaches full equilibrium, when it when it approaches full equilibrium, so then it will have the maximum possible value, stationary value, constant value. Okay, that's why we look for what you call maximization of this one, not number of microstate. Yeah, number of microstate also increases in an approach to equilibrium. That's what we have seen. That's quite easy to say. But the postulate is the second law of thermodynamics, which says that. So, what is the second law of thermodynamics? Quickly, anyone state? Entropy of a closed system has its maximum when the system is in equilibrium condition. Can you write a couple of sentences? What is second law of thermodynamics? Yeah, entropy related to arrow of time. Entropy of an isolated system can never decrease over time and is constant if and only if all processes are reversible. Constant means again final, if final is equal to, so that's what I said, am I right? If final number of microstate is same as initial number of microstate, then process is reversible. If microstates are equal, then entropies are equal, am I right? Final and initial. Okay. So take the first statement here. The total entropy of isolated system can never decrease over time. Okay. So one more statement. Isolated system spontaneously evolve. Isolated system spontaneously evolve towards thermodynamic equilibrium. Spontaneously evolve towards thermodynamic equilibrium, which is a state of maximum entropy. Which is a state of maximum entropy. Again, that is not Shannon entropy. Okay, I think that is entropy given by Gibbs. Okay, again somebody commented that one. I think you are talking about entropy that is defined as summation. I think Kb into minus Kb into summation over probability of getting ith state into log of probability of ith state. Again, this is another definition actually. That's correct. One can be proved from other, okay? So you can prove this one out of this one like that, okay? So there are 3 to 4 different possible way of defining entropy. Let me take this one in the 6th chapter. That is another definition actually. But still, again, to relate the whole story to thermodynamics, we need the second law of thermodynamics. That means entropy will approach a maximum, again, when system approaches equilibrium, or entropy will have maximum possible stationary value. Is that okay? Again, that means you should take derivative, you should equate that one to 0, isn't it? So that is the approach actually. Again, where the energy came here, I think total energy, it all depends on the situation, okay? Total energy, so again, whatever the system we have taken, okay, I have divided that one into 2 parts, whether it is a 2 partition with a piston, is that okay, or whether there is a 2 partition with a what you call gas in one, again empty in other side, or 2 different metal block, okay. Now look at here, so the total system is isolated, the total system is isolated. Is that okay? Now the total system energy is constant, that's how we assume. Suppose if you take a metal block, so at this room, metal block plus room, the total system is isolated. The total system, so block with surrounding, block with room, the total system energy is not changing. Okay, we take that idea. Let me come to that one, okay, let me come to that point. Now actually I just looked into Wikipedia here. A Gibbs entropy formula, Boltzmann principle, and another one is ensemble way of writing the entropy actually. That's what they have given. I think you are talking about Shannon entropy, that is that came later, okay? That came later in the information theory. The same similar definition is done in information theory, usually in quantum information theory and all, but that's quite different, okay. But here we are not talking about that part, we are talking about pure thermodynamical relations actually. I need some thermodynamical relation which can be derived purely out of statistical ideas, okay. If you take this one as a grant, this is the entropy definition, okay. And again, it has other definition in what you call in your how to say, so pure thermodynamics. So that's why again, why I can't argue this one, why I can't give physical reasoning, why only log of, we should maximize log of microstate. Again, usually number of microstate increases, am I right? But while dealing with a derivation, that I think yesterday also I have done that the same thing, am I right? In an approach to thermal equilibrium, what I have done, I have taken log of number of microstate. I try to maximize log of number of microstate, not number of microstate, isn't it? Is that just a mathematical necessity? No, actually. Actually, we are trying to maximize the entropy. That was a law, second law. But I was thinking about some more explanation for this one. So if anyone got, just again you can share that one, okay. That again in information theory they define I think we call it in Shannon and entropy. Yeah. So that's a different story, okay. So that's a very different story. But look at here, we don't maximize number of microstate, okay. Yeah, we know that one number of microstate will increase and it will approach maximum possible value, so in the state of equilibrium. But what we say is we define what you call theorem, or we define what you call law for entropy, log of number of microstate. Now actually you can physically think of entropy as a measure of randomness and all, because if randomness is more, obviously number of microstate will be more, isn't it? You can think like that, but it's a pure bookkeeping term. Is that okay? So it's very pure bookkeeping term. Yeah. So now that's correct. Okay. Whatever the second law of thermodynamics, it is again it is came out of that what you call your so Carnot engine and those kind of ideas actually. Okay. So that's why again I think I can't give any explanation. They have given some other explanation again in case of Kittel and other book, but those were not what you call convincing actually. I can't convince that one in a straightforward manner. So still I spent one full day whether I can give some idea from pure statistical point of view, not from again you can even argue this second law of thermodynamics in thermodynamics. Okay, in a pure thermodynamical point of view, ds is equal to d bar. So let me tell you why I put bar here by t. Okay, by taking this one and by taking some engine or something, some process initial to final state and all, I can argue that entropy will always tend to increase in case of closed isolated system. Okay. I think all of them have done this one. Okay. I think he is quoting some Khan Academy video. They have taken this definition of entropy. So just correct me if I am wrong. Okay, Akshay. I think they all deal with this one, but I was trying to what you call give the idea from Boltzmann definition. That was I was quite again it takes some more time I think for me. Okay. Yeah, again, so using this definition, again you have a lot of thermodynamical way of pure thermodynamical way of what you call arguing that entropy will always increase for closed isolated system. Okay, but here I argued. Okay, I argued in a sense that since number of microstate is always increasing in an approach to thermal equilibrium, so that's why entropy, which is a log of number of microstate, this should also increase. But the question that remains is why don't we maximize number of microstate, why we maximize log of number of microstate to get any parameter of equilibrium? That question actually remained. That may be because this number of microstate is not additive. You can't relate all of our physical quantities are usually additive. Am I right? Volume is additive, number of particles are additive, energy is additive. Am I right? So that's why I think yeah, I should be able to give some more explanation, but it is again. Yeah, I think maybe that is the fact. Okay, the fact is the second law is what you call argued in a pure thermodynamical way, and then again Boltzmann defined this one after that one. So that is first introduced by Clausius. That's what this book says actually. So then it is later again the same quantity, that is entropy, as a state function. It's a state function. Am I right? You can define entropy at some instant of time, isn't it? For a given volume, for a given energy, for a given pressure. Okay, you can define entropy. If those volume, energy or pressure changes, then again entropy changes, isn't it? It's a kind of state function. It will talk about one thermodynamic state of the system. Okay. So now again entropy, again you can think again that energy, that volume, that pressure, that will decide number of microstate. That's how entropy is a state function. Okay. So I think because of that we can't give that satisfactory explanation, because this is argued later. Okay, that second law, okay, cannot be what you call argued purely in terms of Boltzmann formula actually. Okay, that easily. Okay, so again in case of book written by Landau, he has given some explanation, as well as Charles Kittel, Tolman, everybody have given some ideas, but still some point is missing. Okay, I think I better to go through Tolman itself. So again, it seems to be like it's a kind of postulate. Second law, again, in a statistical point of view, if you are not going to any Carnot engine and anything to argue that entropy always increases, is that okay? So now, or any other thermodynamic process, if you are not going over there, if you think of pure statistical point of view, this law of increase of entropy is a kind of postulate actually. Okay, yeah. So now, can you take one more statement? Entropy of a closed system has its maximum when system is in equilibrium condition. The same statement, okay, it's not any new thing. Entropy of a closed system has its maximum constant value. You better write maximum constant value when the system is in equilibrium condition. The problem is again, so this book written by Landau, so that have got lot of physical ideas actually. That is, it is not there in any other book, but the problem is notations and his language. It takes for me much more time to grab those things actually that easily. Yeah, information theory came later. Okay, again he is talking about Shannon entropy. That was very later story. Okay. No, again omega is multiplicative. I think I have argued in the last session. Am I right? So I argued many times. Okay, this number of microstate again that's equal to, suppose if you have two system A and A prime. Suppose number of microstate of A, number of microstate of A prime. So total number of microstate of total system. I call it as A naught. Okay, A naught that's equal to omega A prime. It is multiplicative. It is a what you call principle of counting actually. Total number of microstate, it is principle of counting. He is saying that Boltzmann committed suicide while understanding this second law or trying to explain second law. No, actually Boltzmann suicide attempt was a wrong conclusion. Again, later those Boltzmann ideas are extended and we are discussing whole statistical physics. So people haven't accepted his theory, and I think maybe he again not only accepted. I think they nobody supported or like that. Like I think that kind of story is there. So because of that, he committed suicide actually. So that's why we better to put this B here always to remember Boltzmann. Okay, KB. But our whole statistical physics, it would never be there if Boltzmann was not there. Okay, so Gibbs and Boltzmann, contribution by Gibbs and Boltzmann, that is very huge to whole theory of statistical physics actually. Okay. Yeah, it's not because of again he committed suicide because I think not only I think he might be not only supported, he might be criticized in a very rough way by others, okay, on his theory and all. Later, after the invention of what you call your Brownian motion, and that Brownian motion is explained by Einstein by using again Boltzmann ideas and all, that shut their mouth actually. So that cleared all criticism on Boltzmann theory actually. So that's a very what you call history. You can just read out that one. That is the reason why something is missing here. Yeah, what is that one? I did. I'm not getting that one quickly. Okay, so your what you call number of microstate, that is multiplicative, okay, but log of number of microstate, that is additive. Here I can give some physical interpretation. Yeah, anyway, let me think of that one later. Okay. Again, entropy roughly can be defined as it's a measure of randomness, because if randomness is more, number of microstate is more. Okay, but again, what will happen here is, I have argued, okay, when it approaches equilibrium, or when you remove the constraint and when it approaches equilibrium, number of microstate always tend to increase actually. It will never decrease. So that's why again entropy will approach the maximum value, because number of microstate approaches maximum value. Okay, that's a good statement. Why entropy maximum in that situation? Because number of microstate will approach maximum. We have started our argument with number of microstate only. That part is very clear. Okay, number of microstate, it will approach its maximum possible value. Okay, our it's a kind of, I think, system tendency. It's a system tendency to move in the situation, or move in the what you call path, that again it will always try to increase number of microstate actually. When it is in fully thermal, so when it is in fully thermodynamic equilibrium, it will have the maximum possible constant value actually. Okay. Yeah, it should be argued in some other sense. Okay, but it takes some more time. Anyway. No, again, they were not trying. Okay, I think I was trying. Again, I think Boltzmann was not trying. When I see Wikipedia or some other article, they were not trying to explain that second law of thermodynamics. Okay, that's how again nobody will try to again give the physical significance of entropy also, because again that is bookkeeping term. Okay, you can't think of that one. Anyway, you are not going to measure that one in lab, just like our wave function, isn't it? You are going to, again, why do you care about wave function, isn't it? Its interpretations are important, isn't it? So like that, it's a kind of bookkeeping term, and I think it's not the problem with the Boltzmann, because he derived this one in such a way that again you can attain all other thermodynamic relation out of this one, isn't it? You can attain this one. You can attain this one. We shall do this one. You can find this one using this statement. Okay, and again you can find this one also, summation over pi log of pi, so minus kb. You can attain this one. Okay, you can attain all of those things, and again using this one, using the second law, you can find all of the thermodynamical quantities actually, or thermodynamic relations actually. Okay, that's how he might have given this statement. I think maybe I am trying to, because for my syllabus, okay, so since I am not getting into thermodynamics in the beginning, so I was always trying to think of some pure statistical idea, so that without touching thermodynamics I can move on. Okay, that was my idea. If I have one what you call explanation, or good explanation for this one, how this entropy will approach its maximum value. Okay, if I had very good explanation, then we don't have to go for this thermodynamic, isn't it, to explain that second law, and all of the thermodynamic relations can be derived actually. Okay, that was the idea, but I think that's not possible. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Okay, so if there is a teacher in a class, so students will be sitting in order, isn't it? Teacher is a constraint. When teacher goes outside, isn't it, constraint is removed, isn't it? When constraint is removed, again number of microstate increases here, isn't it? Again, total energy of the whole system, that is constant. Okay, we are not again individual system. Again, yeah, so let me talk about energy. Okay, so just wait for a while. Yeah, again, so again we can't give physical interpretation for entropy. Okay, don't look for that one because it's not measurable thing in lab. Okay, but that quantity, again we call it an state function and all. That quantity is so important that you can, again using second law, by stating second law, you can derive all relation in thermodynamics actually. Okay, I think the missing part here is that second law should be argued satisfactorily only by using thermodynamical, again pure thermodynamic point of view, not in a statistical point of view. In a statistical point of view, it looks like a kind of how to say postulate. It looks like a kind of postulate. Again, there are some more idea given by these authors, but those were not that level of convincing. Okay. Anyway, we shall think of that one. Yeah. Any further question? Yeah, we shall define heat. Okay, again using this one only. I hope using this law of increase of entropy in an approach to equilibrium, you can prove that. I think we have proved, isn't it? We have taken one quantity dou ln of number of microstate by dou E. Am I right? Usually, number of microstate is a function of energy. For any system, I think we defined this quantity as 1 by kb into T. Isn't it? We defined this quantity as 1 by kb into T. Do you remember? And again, in the similar manner, again we can define all of our physical quantity using this log of number of microstate. You can define pressure, you can define chemical potential, everything by a derivative of that one actually. Okay, we shall see that one in the next session. Yeah, I just lost in the last comment actually. I hope you can find in case of thermal equilibrium, okay, which quantity is equal. So statistically, so this derivative with respect to energy, that is equal. Am I right? So dou ln of number of microstate divided by dou E is equal to dou ln of number of microstate of other system by other energy. When they are equal, we say it is in thermal equilibrium, isn't it? That's how I have argued. So now in the next session, or let me upload one video that I have derived all of them together. Okay, so in an approach to thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium using law of increase of entropy. So one full day is spent on explaining that one. But again, my idea was, because if I start thermodynamics, it is at least 15-day syllabus. Thermodynamics only is the 15-day syllabus. Okay, so that's why what I am thinking is, if I explain it here, I can derive even not only again so the simple thermodynamic relation like that, I can derive all Maxwell relation only by using law of increase of entropy. Just see that one again. Let me upload one more video and let me work a little more on giving one conclusion on this law of increase of entropy in a pure statistical manner. Okay, I think I may need to introduce some more thing. Now let me do again. Now I am not confident once again, if that is not there in the book, so if the whole thing is not there in the book, again I am not confident enough to make my own statement actually here. I think it may take some more time for me to do that one. Okay, suppose you have a system, suppose the same thing, that we had a partition. Okay, you had a partition. You had a gas of high concentration here, you had a gas of low concentration here. Okay, gas of very high concentration, low concentration. Okay, when you remove the partition, they will diffuse, so that again number of microstate will increase. It's a kind of constraint. Partition is a constraint. That's what we have seen. Okay. Now what I'm saying is, yeah. Let me go for phase space. Okay. Let me go for phase space. Now let me start my time. So at t equal to 0, I removed partition. Is that okay? At time t equals 0, I removed partition. So I think it may take around within order of second, it will diffuse and it will attain equilibrium actually. The relaxation time in that case, that's quite low. Is that okay? Again, so it will not take that much time to get into the equilibrium actually. Wait a second. Yeah. So now what I am saying is, at time t equal to 0, partition is removed. Let me take this one as time axis. Okay, this is 0 second. So maybe within 1 second, so it almost approached equilibrium. But there are some other statement that it will never approach equilibrium, because I think it's a kind of exponential thing. Okay. Now what will happen? Again, within 1 second, it approached equilibrium. Now think of phase space. Okay, think of phase space. Okay, so maybe our phase point P and Q here. So it has started moving. Okay, within 1 second, somewhere again our phase point from here to here. So by again, so maybe within 1 second our our phase point might have moved very large distance actually. Isn't it? Because again you have a large number of particles. Degree of freedom is very high actually. So now what will happen is, after it approaches equilibrium, okay, again that how to say, again so can I say, so pressure, energy and volume, these are constant, am I right? These values were changing actually. Again how to say, again these values may be changing again before equilibrium. After it attained equilibrium, look at here, all of those macroscopic properties are same at all other further time, am I right? After it attained equilibrium, at all later time, all of your macroscopic parameters are same. Within this time, all of your macroscopic parameters changed actually, isn't it? Within this time. So later, all of these macroscopic parameters remain same, am I right? Now, how do you define what you call number of microstate? All of those microstate correspond to same macroscopic property, am I right? That's how we define. We define this is the number of microstate, that's a function of energy, volume, pressure, like that. This is for temperature, pressure, or you can write any of these three actually, because again only three independent again we call them as thermodynamic coordinate. I think you have heard of that one. Average energy, volume, pressure, temperature, we call it as thermodynamic coordinate actually. We feel that one as a coordinate actually. So now look at here. Again, this number of microstate, that is decided by this one. Once these are constant, then number of microstate is constant, am I right? Again, that number of microstate is constant here, and it has some maximum value here, isn't it? Now what I am saying is, our system will spend lot of time, infinite time, in the equilibrium situation. Can I say like that? In the non-equilibrium situation, it will not spend much time. Can I say like that? If I take very long journey, in the non-equilibrium situation, our system will not going to spend much time actually. It will shortly touch those state, and again it will approach to equilibrium. That's a tendency actually. Okay. So once it approaches equilibrium, again it will stay there for a very long time. Okay. That's why again once you think of again phase space, our phase point will cover lot of region once you allow this one for a very long time. Okay, in our phase space, again it will cover lot of the region actually. Is that okay? Again the region of the phase space that become very high once it approaches equilibrium, because our phase point is allowed to what you call move for a long time, am I right? Without changing any macroscopic quantities actually. So that's why again what would happen, what I can think of is, so whenever it approaches equilibrium, okay, again your phase space region is more, number of microstate is more. If number of microstate is more, that is the most probable situation actually, isn't it? If particle is more likely to spend, again if particles spend, again, or if our system spends more time in some situation, then that is more probable in the time axis. If our system spends more part of the time, okay, with this time, with that time, then definitely that state is more probable. That's why equilibrium state is more probable. So that kind of statements are there. Can you just write that one? Again, this assumption is needed to again discuss again second law of thermodynamics again. The equilibrium condition of the system is given by most probable condition. The equilibrium condition of a system is given by most probable condition. Yeah, these are valid in both real and ideal gas. Okay, these are very fundamental definitions. Okay, you can even take interaction, but only thing is how to find this one. Okay, again he is asking whether it is again valid for both real and ideal gas. Okay, again if you take any interaction between the gas, if there is no interaction, we call that one as ideal gas. Am I right? If there is any interaction between the gas molecule, what would happen is again once the gas molecules start interacting, again quite difficult to find number of microstate actually. Somebody asked that one again, that whether that changes when the again whether your phase space dimension changes when particles start interacting. No, it will not change. Phase space dimension will not change, but quite difficult to find those quantities. Okay, derive it out actually. Okay. I think that's why our real gas situation, I think there is one equation of a state which contains two constant A and B and all in case of thermodynamics. That cannot be derived that easily. That's a kind of empirical one actually. Okay. Yeah, anyway, let me try to give some more ideas if possible. Otherwise, we can just take that one as a grant postulate and we shall move on. Okay. So now let me upload one more video that I have done very quickly on that again deriving all thermodynamic relation, and I am going to upload the same thing as an assignment. Okay, deriving all thermodynamic relation and deriving all Maxwell relation using law of increase of entropy. Okay, so you should do that one in the so within today. Okay, because that is not that much, so that doesn't have that much weightage actually. Okay, we should move on. So after doing that, let me go to what you call 6th chapter, so that I can start discussing important part. Okay, so any questions? Yeah, we shall start that atomic class I think by today or tomorrow, because I need some Boltzmann idea in atomic class. Okay, to discuss some population of the level and intensity of the spectral line. Okay, actually I was intent to upload that video, but again that needs some Boltzmann ideas. Okay, from chapter 2, I think you don't have to solve much problem. Let me check it out, okay? Not of much weightage. So from chapter 2, I think you can move on to a sixth chapter actually. Chapter 2 as well as 3, okay? Chapter 2 as well as 3. I think in chapter 3 and 4 he derives all Maxwell relation and all. 3, 4, 5 and all, okay? So you can derive Maxwell relation using only second law of thermodynamics. We shall discuss pure thermodynamics in the month of January, okay? I think the next topic that I am going to discuss in a live class, that is chapter number 6, okay? From that again our real application starts, our canonical distribution, grand canonical distribution and its application. Canonical distribution have got lot of applications actually, okay? And our Gibbs paradox, solving Gibbs paradox, and then again starting our quantum statistics, okay? Lot of weightage for quantum statistics also in our exam. Quickly, any further question here? If you found any philosophical argument for this one, just share with me, okay? Anyone? Because I needed one convincing statement to move on here. With this one and second law of thermodynamics, I'm finding one statement is missing here, or one what you call, a small convincing is needed. Why I have to maximize log of number of microstates. Again, I argued how microstates are increasing in an approach to equilibrium, okay, by taking one of the system like this, again extending the same to other one. But why we maximize log of number of microstates? Is that because we can derive all of the thermodynamic relation? Is that only reason? I don't know actually, okay? That's what I need to find. Yeah, any question quickly? Yeah, entropy formula can be again the same formula can be written for partition function, okay? In case of canonical and grand canonical ensemble, we shall write down other formula for entropy, okay? One formula is by Gibbs, okay? Other formula is by Boltzmann. You have again very old formula, so from thermodynamical idea, that is by I think Clausius himself. Again, those are different part actually, okay? I think that is the point. I think there exists the point why we can't give pure satisfactory explanation here for law of increase of entropy. If anyone found any satisfactory explanation for statistical explanation, okay, not thermodynamic explanation,